YouTubers, Mike Martin's here. Mike Martin's channel is an enormous housing shakedown in Australia right now. The Great Australian Housing Shakedown is going to happen this winter, I guess, because Southern Hemisphere is summer for us. And rates are on the prowl to continue to rise there in Australia to help stimulate the economy of their free market. Come in and buy us out and buy out the Australian proper. And then people leave the big cities and no one's paying taxes in those bigger cities anymore, which doesn't contribute to infrastructure, and no one's picking up your garbage in about a year from now. Let's look at see what's happening here. Big four banks face mounting pressure to lift interest rates. Australia's largest banks may be forced to impose out-of-cycle mortgage rate hikes as global interest rates push higher. Yes, you gotta blame Donald Trump for this, because he's looking after his own people. Let's keep going. Boom! Shane Oliver pours cold water on calls for an imminent RBA rate hike. There's been a lot of robust discussion among economists this week about the future direction of interest rates in Australia. Former RBA board member Warrock McGibbon kicked off the debate on Monday when he said the RBA should hike rates now, arguing it would create more room to move in the event of global economic downturn. That is actually correct. That makes a lot of sense, because this way you could have a little bit of cush before the storm hits, and if you don't, it's going to get a lot worse. It's a point of view which stands in stark contrast to most analysts, given the various headwinds for the inflation outlook. Market pricing for the next RBA rate hike has been pushed well to 2019, as a steady stream of economists at major banks have walked back their predictions of near-term rate hike. According to the AMP chief economist Shane Oliver, raising rate hikes in the current environment would be a major policy mistake. So current environment is what they're saying is the price of homes, labor market under relativism rates, there it is, unemployment and underemployment. And that gives you a chart there. I don't believe that chart, but that's just what it says. So that's another one. Very important. Rates need to go up to stimulate the economy, because there's no other way the economy is being stimulated. Home settlement sales fall short of 500,000 this past year. Less than 500,000 homes were sold in Australia in the past year, dropping below a decade average in a surge sign. The heat has come out of the market. See how your city fared. So you go here, and it gives you a little bit of a breakdown of all the different cities. Let's see what this thing says.
Absolutely. And look, $4 million might not be an awful lot in Sydney, but it's big here in Brisbane, and we are starting to see a lot more of those $4 million plus sales happening, with a lot of demand for that high-end prestige property sector. This one snapped up within 2 days of being listed for sale, so the prestige market here really is on fire. The agent said that it was put on advertise on realestate.com.au. Then he had a buyer who came through, had a look at it and said, take it off the market, it's mine, and made an offer really that the vendor couldn't refuse. The vendor himself is a private Sydney person. He had only set foot in the house once. He bought it originally with a 1950s cottage on it, and then got it completely rebuilt into this immaculate home, which is just incredible. It just has everything you could possibly imagine, and he's made a very tidy profit from the sale as well. Records show that he bought it for around 1.6 million back in 2011, so 4.25. Obviously he would have estimated to have spent upwards of $1 million on the build, but he's still done pretty well there, you could say, and it's just an incredible home. It was expected to go to auction actually, Sophie, but as I mentioned, taken off the market after just 2 days.
Okay, so so this is what's pushing up the overall housing prices. So it looks like, you get these bigger ones selling, and, and like I said, it's a lot of people just moving their money out. So the guy stepped foot once in the house that had it. Yeah, I don't know about that. Comment below, let me know what you guys think. First home buyer's guide. How long it takes to save for a first house deposit in Brisbane. So right here, in Brisbane, the report found that a dual-income couple aged between 25 and 34 who were each saving 1/5 of their post-tax income would need 5.42 years to come up with a $107,000 $500 deposit for a property priced at $537. That seems pretty reasonable, but that property is way too high. Let's see what this lady with this nice white teeth has to say. Bright white teeth lady, let's go. Hurry up! Yeah, give it a few seconds. It's gonna take a few seconds there to load. So, the average house going up, but how many empty homes are there in Brisbane? That is the key. Oh, here, it's talking alone. Hold on a sec. What happened to my audio? There it is.
Quickest savings time for a first home buyer. We are looking at a couple, a dual income within each of the greater capital city regions and what that looks like in terms of purchasing. In the city market, it's the longest journey time to save a deposit, but what we are seeing is softening market conditions are actually proving great for first home buyers. They've got time to make that purchase, and also we're seeing the journey time for units in particular hasn't changed between this year and last year. Affordability really has been driven by the west side of Melbourne. We're really seeing those LGAs, Melton, for example, offering affordability for first home buyers. And of course, for first home buyers, if they opt for a unit, that brings them closer into the CBD at a much lower price point. What we've seen within Brisbane is an increase in first home buyer activity within this market. What we've got is one of the most generous first home buyer grants within Queensland of $20,000, and that has increased activity within Brisbane. I think the softening unit conditions in terms of those prices really has shaved some time off of that journey time to save that lump sum deposit. Some of the best opportunities for first home buyers are offered in...
Okay, this is good. You know what, guys? If they're telling you to save for 5 years before you buy, smart move. You know why? Because in 5 years, the house is going to go down even further. They're still overpriced. Are these people blind, or what are they living in this delusional? Okay, you know what? Start today saving for 5 years, and then you'll see what the house is worth 5 years from now and how much you've acquired in savings. And then you'll look back and say, holy crap, if I bought it earlier, I would have been screwed because the house is worth less than what it is today. Houses are severely overpriced. The second the capital flows of China and foreign investors leaving, the amount of empty homes and the amount of homes that the banks are going to start taking back, they're going to have to just sell it at whatever they could get for it at auction price, low auction price. And I'm not talking about these, hey, let's put this on auction for $5 million. Oh my God. Yeah, start saving now for 5 years. Good advice. You know why? Because in 5 years, it's going to be a lot less. You could probably buy the thing free and clear. State by state, what first home buyers pay to enter the property market. This is a really good video here. It shows you state by state. So let's take a look at her. Yeah, it takes a while to load. I don't know why. It's probably because...
For 29-year-old Adrian Terry, there was only one option to buy his first home.
There was no way without my parents I was actually going to be able to buy a house.
He received a gift from his parents to purchase a 4-bedroom house in Melton last year, his parents selling their investment property to provide the funds.
I know Dad was working a lot of overtime, Mum was taking extra money where she could as well.
It is hard for them, and I think, you know, they're getting their inheritance now instead of, you know, after we die.
New research suggests this is an increasing trend in Australia as house prices soar and wages flatline. The Bank of Mum and Dad is now the 5th biggest lender in the country behind the 4 major banks, loaning more than $65 billion to young Aussie buyers. 29% of parents assist their children in purchasing a home, chipping in around $64,000 on average.
It's all very well to say, great, you're getting a gift from your parents and now we're going to give you a loan for $350,000, but can you make the repayments?
Which is one reason why a legal agreement is recommended. Tim Dean set up his online contract business Creddy after lending money to his 4 children, saying a document is the best way to save trouble down the track.
A lot of loans go bad because people change their view of what it was. They remember things slightly differently.
Experts say these contributions mean many parents are working longer and putting off retirement as the majority dip into their own savings to fund the loans or gifts for their children.
The Bank of Mum and Dad could one day be Australia's biggest bank.
For many, it's simply more of the same, the purse that comes with parenting.
It's always, Mum, Dad, can I have some money? I mean, I don't think that ever stops.
Laura Spurway, 9 News.
Yep. Mom, Dad, can I have some money? And it never stops. I see a lot of people in their 40s and in 50s still asking money from their parents. Let's move on here. Yahoo. Watch out, your mortgage rates are about to rise. So people that are waiting on the sidelines for 5 years, if you're actually taking the advice from that lady, yeah, take 5 years, you'll see where things are going to be in 5 years. So beware, interest rates are on the rise. It has nothing to do with the Reserve Bank changes, official rates. Higher mortgage rates are starting to flow because the banks are confronting higher borrowing costs because of a jump in money market interest rates that have been linked to interest rate hikes in the U.S. and tightening the global credit conditions. For owner-occupier loans, the Bank of Queensland has announced an increase in 9 basis points, 0.9% points, for a principal of interest rates of 15 basis points move from interest-only loans. So people that got into those interest-only loans have been paying down for the last 3 to 5 years, have seen no movement in their mortgage, and yeah, it's getting really bad. Another one, number 9 news. How long it takes to sell your home in a suburb. Another one from Australia here. All from Australia today. Australia Housing Market Shakedown. That's what today's show's called.
The boom days in Schofields have come and gone. Local agent Anthony Mackman knows it all too well.
9-12 months ago, this would have sold in the first or second weeks.
That 2-bedroom unit he's trying to sell has been on the market now for 2 months.
I think mainly just lending conditions. People just can't seem to get the funds to put offers in.
In Blacktown, Andrew Chrysanthou says prices are stabilising after a drop. Homes are selling, but it is taking longer.
Average time on market for us was anywhere from 3 to 5 weeks. It's definitely now gone from anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks, 6 to 9 weeks.
That's normal. That's normal.
The market's definitely slowing. We have seen a drop in pricing of over 4% over the past 12 months. So it does mean things are selling.
Foreign investors are not coming in, gobbling everything up.
The longest to sell houses, Barowra Waters, a median of 608 days or more than 18 months. Box Hill Homes, 154 days, and Vineyard near Windsor, 141 days. For units, Schofields, 575 days, North Ryde and Stanhope Gardens, 96 days each. Now, you might think it would stand to reason that the best performing suburbs would be those closest to the city, but here in Colby, near Marsden Park, well, it is definitely bucking the trend. With large new homes near the M7 and close to a popular business park, Colby is actually the fastest place to sell a home, just 2 weeks. Mount Vernon near Kemps Creek only 4 days longer, and Como 21 days. Janali units take a median 16 days to sell, 20 days in Bronte and Casula.
There's 3 things that lead to higher engagement on our site, and it's being close to a good school, good retail and good public transport.
Eddie Meyer, 9 News.
So where are things headed, people? It is interesting to say, but boots on the ground in Australia and people sending me messages. Guys, if you're in Australia, go around, make a video, upload it to an anonymous YouTube channel or a YouTube channel that you barely use. Send me the link to it. I could rip it off and I could talk over it. It's fine if you want to stay anonymous. I have no problem discussing and talking about this. It's very important because it's important because it affects whatever happens in one English-speaking country, it happens in other English-speaking countries, and it just goes all around because, you know, that's just the trend and how it works, especially in the housing market. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Australia, I know there's so many people like the tour buses with all foreign buyers coming in and buying up homes and stuff has stopped, has ended. And the, what do you call it, the bidding wars are dying down. Same thing in New Zealand. Anyways, guys, that's the Australian housing market shakedown for the last week of June 2018. Comment below, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. Mike Martin's here.